News for Thursday, March 11th. U.S. Attorney Christie, in his first public comments on a federal investigation into Democratic fundraising, says investigators will follow the facts wherever they lead. He also implied a grand jury is already hearing evidence. Meanwhile, one of the farmers solicited for a campaign contribution by the fundraiser at the center of the investigation confirmed for NJN News that he is cooperating with the FBI. Aron reports.
This is the farm that has been dragged into the investigation of Democratic fundraising. It belongs to the Halper family. Brothers Mark and Larry Halper were friendly with David Damiano of Carteret, a waste hauler and recycler, who raised funds for his casual friend Jim McGreevey and the Democrats. The Halpers have been fighting to save their farm from condemnation by Piscataway Township. The state farmland preservation program offered them $3 million, but they feel this last remaining farm in Piscataway is worth at least $10 million. Sources say Damiano told the Halpers that for a $10,000 contribution to the Democratic State Committee, he could help them get a better outcome. Mark Halper did not want to appear on camera. Off camera, he told us he's cooperating with federal investigators, did not want to say anything that could compromise the investigation or end up hurting the wrong people.
I'm not going to stand here in the midst of an investigation and talk about the investigation.
U.S. Attorney Christie, in Trenton to announce an unrelated indictment, talked around the investigation for 10 or 15 minutes.
And I understand that there is enormous public interest and pressure on all of you to find out more about this investigation. All I can tell you is that that cannot be the reason that we walk away from our history of professionalism in this office.
He denied that leaks about the investigation are coming from his office, strongly refuted suggestions that his Republican background had anything to do with the focus on Democrats, and at one point hinted that a grand jury has been impaneled in the case.
Remember, any subpoenas which may be served by this office are grand jury subpoenas, and I'm not going to get into discussing grand jury information in public.
He quickly pulled back and said he didn't mean to say a grand jury is definitely hearing this case, then warded off more questions.
Premature discussion and speculation about these type of things is just not productive for the United States Attorney's Office.
Governor McGreevey has reportedly retained a Washington, D.C. attorney to represent him in the case, as have at least 4 current or former McGreevey aides. The question hanging over the Halper end of the case is, what did Damiano promise the farm family in return for their campaign contribution? A knowledgeable source says they feel they got nothing for their $10,000. The state never upped its farmland preservation offer, and Piscataway Township is still trying to take the land by eminent domain. A Halper in-law spoke to us.
But this stinks.
How so?
Because this is a piece of property here that's worth millions, and they want to steal it. They want to steal the property.
Development pressure in Piscataway is great. A new mall sits near the Halper farm. New houses abut it. 5 generations of Halpers have been farming here since 1922. Mark Halper fears the township would sell a parcel for development. The township says it wants to preserve the land. That fight is in appellate court right now, while the Halpers find themselves suddenly embroiled in a big federal probe. Aron, NJN News, Piscataway.
Attorney General Peter Harvey told NJN News late today that he will